how go the recall elections in Wisconsin? I know one of the groups that has been working on behalf of Democrats to recall these Republicans just had their building burned down was it Friday, Saturday?
No, it's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Okay.
Yeah, it's and who would have thought, right? I mean, go figure. We've got Supreme Court justices attacking other Supreme Court justices.
Physically attacking, yeah.
Physically attacking. We've got people pulling knives in the Capitol. Again, all the folks who are on the governor's side here got a report last week of the governor's motorcade driving at rates of 50 to 60 miles an hour through a crowd of protesters, an investigation going on there. And now a campaign headquarters burns down. One might put all those things together and think that the governor and his folks are going a little crazy.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this. If they are getting a little tense, if they are getting a little nervous, that's probably logical because I was around the state all last weekend, up to almost to the Michigan border, down to the Illinois border, traveling through these districts. And there's something remarkable going on out there, Tom. On country roads, farms with Democratic signs in counties where I've never seen a Democrat.
Yeah.
So I think this is real. I don't know what the results will give us next Tuesday, but I will tell you that every one of these Democratic challengers to Republican incumbents is not only competitive, but is within range is either ahead or within range of winning. And I think that has shaken the Republicans a great deal.
Yep. Well, speaking of Republicans who are apparently unshakable, John, let me just play for you this press conference that President Obama held in December of last year, as he was announcing the fact that he had given a 2-year extension of the Bush tax cuts in exchange for a 1-year extension of unemployment benefits. And the reporter asked this question.
Mark Amner.
How do these negotiations affect negotiations or talks with Republicans about raising the debt limit? Because it would seem that they have a significant amount of leverage over the White House now going in. Was there ever any attempt by the White House to include raising the debt limit as part of this package?
When you say that it would seem they'll have a significant amount of leverage over the White House, what do you mean?
Now at that point, he doesn't know what the reporter's talking about. So then the reporter lays it out. It's like 2 minutes of the clip and lays out exactly what the Republicans just did. And then the president, in his response to that, says this.
Here's my expectation, and I'll take John Boehner at his word, that nobody, Democrat or Republican, is willing to see the full faith and credit of the United States government collapse, that would not be a good thing to happen.
There you go. So, and then he goes on about that. But I think he's been snookered.
Bad bet, Mr. President. Look,
I mean, a reporter had to raise it in last year.
Well, and this is a painful reality. So much of what was appealing about Barack Obama as a presidential candidate was that he was not a Washington insider. He had only been in the Senate for, barely a year and a half when he started running for president.
Right.
And in many ways, that was appealing. That was exciting to have somebody young and fresh and new. But there is a downside, and that is a twofold downside. One, not always understanding and not surrounding yourself with people who understand the tripwires in our political processes, the points where those who want to destroy you politically can and will do so.
Right.
And number two, not having the political sense to recognize when those tripwires will be crossed.
Well, this is my point. I believe that putting together a commission of 12 members of Congress is establishing a new tripwire. And this morning, Kent Conrad just a little bit ago, and one of the networks was saying, we've had our lawyers look this thing over. This commission of 12 congressmen is going to have the legal authority to raise taxes. Well, first of all, that's going to make the Tea Partiers crazy, and it may blow up the chance of this passing. But secondly, you really think they're going to do that?
Well, it's more than that, Tom. Look,
it's Republican fairy dust.
How many commissions do we have to establish, right, to have it come forward and say something that nobody wants, and then have it end up being a mess, right? Some sort of blow up.
Simpson balls all over again.
If they raise taxes, Congress will overrule them. And it is fantasy to think that Congress cannot do so.
Right.
Similarly, if they start the deconstruction of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, I will argue that it is also likely Congress will overrule. And so we end up in
at least the Senate will.
Well, but I think even the House, as we get closer to the 2012 election, you watch Republicans start to become defenders of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
You're right. As Harry Truman pointed out, the first 2 years, when you come up to an election, all of a sudden they're with us.
Do you know, here in Wisconsin, just to give you an analogy, the Club for Growth and these Republican groups have ads up attacking the Democrats for voting to cut education funding, right? I mean,
wow.
Why? Because they did vote for some cuts along the way. And so you understand that when you get close to an election, the folks don't go soft. They don't forget about stuff. They look for every vulnerability. And as we get closer to the 2012 election, the likelihood that this so-called committee or commission, is this new one that's being established, is going to have the ability to do things is comic.
But this is supposed to happen over the next 3 months.
Well, you know what, Tom?
Before the end of the year.
Yeah. And then we're going to be up at another, I guarantee you, we're going to be exactly where Mitch McConnell and Michelle Bachmann and a lot of other people want us to be.
Yep, it's another hostage taking.
Another hostage taking is going to be coming right into Christmas, right into the Iowa caucuses. And once again, Barack Obama, terrified, is going to look them in the eye and give them a great big blink. And when he blinks, that's where we're going to take the next step. The problem, though, Tom, is that if Barack Obama keeps on this track, if he refuses to step up and simply say, I'm with the 80% of the American people that don't want to do it this way, that really do believe that we need to tax the wealthiest Americans, we need to make real cuts in defense spending before we even begin to do the deep and painful cuts to working Americans. Until he does that, they're going to keep moving the ball.
Yeah.
And I am very proud of the fact that so many Democrats in the House appear to be waking up to that reality. Today, an unbelievably broad range of Democrats have said they don't like this deal. The ones that stepped up to say they will oppose is quite remarkable. Elliot Engel, no great lefty, but also, Raul Grijalva from the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Charlie Rangel, Jesse Jackson Jr., black and white, Hispanic, and I still believe, I genuinely believe, that as the Tea Party folks, they kind of jettison on their side, if progressive Democrats step up at this point and say, hold it, we can't sign off on this deal. There's still negotiating position, there's still bargaining position, and we ought not to just accept this as something Democrats have to do.
Just give us a clean bill?
Give us a clean bill, an up or down vote, and if we can't get that, then let's look at that 14th Amendment.
Yeah. John, I'm with you on that. I think that's absolutely the right position. John Nichols, thenation.com. Thank you, John.
Thanks, my friend. Keep it up.
Yeah, will do. Always good talking with you.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Strange time, interesting time, as the old Chinese curse goes. Interesting times we live in. We'll explore them a little further right after this.